This is Act 3, Scene 1, a public street in Verona, a dialogue between Benvolio and Mercutio.
I pray thee, good Mercutio, let's retire. The day is hot, the Capulets abroad, and if we meet, we shall not escape a brawl. For now, these hot days is the blood stirring.
Ugh, thou art like one of those fellows that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps his sword upon the table and says, God, send me no needs of thee, and then, by the operation of his second cup, draws it on the drawer, when indeed there is no need.
Am I like such a fellow?
Come, thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy. Is this verbal, dramatic, or situational irony? Verbal irony, because it is the opposite of true. Benvolio is the one who tries to make peace, and Mercutio is the one who's the crazy guy.
By my head, here come the Capulets.
By my heel, I care not. Tybalt.
Gentlemen, good evening. A word with one of you.
And but one word with one of us. Couple it with something. Make it a word and blow.
You shall find me apt enough for that, sir, if you will give me occasion.
Could you not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Pause. To consort is to like hang out with people like they're thugs, minstrels, or musicians in really low class. So asking if he consorted with Romeo is calling them minstrels and a really big insult. Consort? What dost thou make us minstrels? Here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make thee dance. Zounds, consort.
We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private space or else depart. Here all eyes gaze upon us.
Psh! Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure eye.
Well, peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
Why won't Mercutio leave the public place? And what things are being compared in the bolded metaphor? Zounds, here's my fiddlestick. Here's that shall make thee dance. Zounds, consort. Mercutio won't leave the public place because he says men's eyes were made to look. He loves the attention. And his sword is getting compared to a fiddlestick. So violence and fighting is getting compared to music and dancing.
Romeo, the love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore farewell. I see thou knowest me not.
Boy, this shall not excuse the injuries thou hast done me. Therefore, turn and draw.
I do protest, I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt show the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as my own, be satisfied. Oh, come, dishonorable, vile submission. Alla staccata carries it away. What is motivating Tybalt in this scene? And what is motivating Romeo? And what is the dramatic irony? Tybalt wants to avenge himself for the insult of Romeo crashing the party. Romeo doesn't want to fight his wife's cousin, who is now his cousin, as they are married. The dramatic irony is we know that Romeo is married to Juliet and nobody else does. Now, Mercutio will jump into the fight with a lot of cat puns. Remember, Tybalt is known as the Prince of Cats because of that children's book illusion. So he's being really insulting and doing a lot of cat stuff. Tybalt, you rat catcher, will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives, that I mean to make bold withal, and as you shall use me hereafter, dry beat the rest of the 8.
I am for you.
Pause. What figurative language is being used when he says, you rat catcher and good king of cats, nothing but one of your 9 lives? Irony, metaphor, aside, pun, or allusion? Allusion to that children's book. And play.
Gentle Mercutio, Put thy rapier up!
Come, sir, your prestado! Draw Benvolio, beat down their weapons! Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage! Tybalt, Mercutio, the prince especially has forbidden bandying in the Verona streets. Hold, Tybalt, good Mercutio! Tybalt stabs Mercutio under Romeo's arm and flies away with his followers. I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone and has nothing? Pause. What figurative language is being used here? A plague on both your houses. Is that metaphor, aside, or foreshadowing? Foreshadowing. A plague, a pestilence, death come to both of your houses, meaning the Montagues and the Capulets, and there is death that comes to both houses in the form of Romeo and Juliet suicide. Although plague reference is a little on the nose these days. And play.
Courage, man. The hurt cannot be much.
No, 'tis not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered, I warrant, for this world. A plague on both your houses. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought it was for the best.
Mercutio dies. Pause. What double meaning is used in the bolded text? Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. It's a pun. Grave, obviously, as in the place you go when you're buried, but also grave meaning serious. So even as he lays dying, Mercutio is making jokes and playing with language, which is a huge character trait of his. And play.
This gentleman, the prince near ally, my very friend, hath got his mortal hurt in my behalf. My reputation stained with Tybalt's slander. Tybalt, that an hour hath been my kinsman. O sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in my temper softened valor's steel.
Pause. The lines in bold. O sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate or feminine, and in my temper softened valor's steel. Who is Romeo blaming his mistakes on? Juliet. He says she's so beautiful. She's made him more womanly and thus less brave, which I don't take super kindly to, and not a great look for Romeo. Benvolio.
Oh, Romeo, brave Mercutio's dead. Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again. Now, Tybalt, take that villain back again that late thou gavest me. For Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I, or both must go with him.
Thou wretched boy, that didst consort him here, shalt with him hence.
This shall determine that.
Romeo, away, begone! Stand not amazed. The prince will doom thee death if thou art taken. Hence, begone, away.
I am fortune's fool.
Why dost thou stay?
When Romeo says, Mercutio's soul is but a little way above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou or I, or both must go with him. What is he meaning by that? He's saying one or both of them must die to keep Mercutio's soul company in the afterlife. Enter Prince.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray?
O noble prince, I can discover all. The unlucky manage of this fateful brawl. There lies the man slain by young Romeo, that slew thy kinsman, brave Mercutio. Tybalt, my cousin, oh, my brother's child, oh, prince, oh, cousin, husband, oh, his blood is spilt of my dear kinsman. Prince, as thou art true, for blood of ours, shed blood of Montague.
Benvolio, who began this bloody fray?
Romeo, he cries aloud, hold, friends, friends part. His agile arm beats down their fatal swords, and twixt them rushes underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio. Ere I could draw to part them, was stout Tybalt slain. And as he fell, did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die. He is a kinsman to the Montague. Affection makes him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and all those 20 could but kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou, prince, must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo's must not live.
Romeo slew him. He slew Mercutio. Who now the price of his dear blood doth owe?
Not Romeo, prince. He was Mercutio's friend, And his fault concludes, but what the law should end, the life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately we do exile him hence. I have interest in your hate's proceedings. My blood for your rude brawls doth lie a-bleeding. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor tears nor prayers shall purchase out abuses, therefore use none. Let Romeo hence in haste, else when he's found, that hour is his last.
Well, how many people does Lady Capulet think should have had to kill Tybalt? 20. She didn't think Romeo could have killed him by himself because he was such a great swordsman. So she made up the idea that 20 people would have been taken to kill Tybalt. And then what is the prince's sentence for Romeo? Banishment, and if he returns, death.